Hey guys, this is Goku, and on this channel we talk about poker and ideas that can improve your life. Today we're gonna jump into another GTO trainer session. We're playing the MP2 Open versus button call spot, and this is a tournament spot on 50 big blind stacks. So let's jump right into it. On the first hand, we've got ace queen off on a 10 queen 8. I think this is a bet third of the pot. It is. Let's go to the next one. We've got ace 10 off on a king deuce 4. We're betting a third of the pot again. And as we can see, the ideal action here would be betting 2/3 of the pot. And solver does that with 31% of the time. And we can see the 14% is our bet third of the pot. So the remainder 50% or something, the solver is checking with our hand here. Now on the jack of hearts, we're just gonna check. And surprisingly, the solver actually really likes betting 2/3 of the pot here with our hand. I think this is because we're blocking ace king, ace jack. And yeah, surprisingly, the solver does that with 80% frequency. But there's a deuce of diamonds on the river. And what do we do now? I think we're gonna try and overbet it. And the solver actually either overbets it here or plays 2/3 of the pot. But we can see the options are all both pretty much same, EV-wise. The villain folds. Now we've got pocket deuces on a 10-4 ace. We're just gonna bet 2.5. Checking is also fine. The villain calls another 4 on the turn. We're gonna check. The solver checks with 72% frequency. And are we calling this donk bet here? I think we are with pocket deuces. It's 3% of the strategy, so we should really be folding here 97% of the time. We're gonna check now on the king of spades and we're gonna fold, so yeah, it's probably better to just fold it here on this turn. Now we've got pocket threes on 4 jack 6 and we're gonna check it. Yeah, and we're gonna fold it. Oh, actually, the solver is calling here. With 98% frequency. Let's go to the next one. 7-6 of hearts on a tray, queen tray. We are going to bet 2.5 here. It's the ideal action, played 49% of the time. Villain calls. There's a 4 of clubs on the turn. We pick up a gut shot. Is it enough to continue betting? Probably not. So we're gonna check and give up on this hand. But as we can see, the solver bets here 60% of the time. So it is enough to continue betting. But we're not gonna call the 4. Oh, we should be calling this donk bet, third of the pot bet, 90% of the time. The EV loss of folding is small, but we can see the solver almost never falling here, which is weird, but it's good to know. Pocket threes on 6 a7. I think this is a check. It is a check indeed. The villain checks behind. We have a 4 of hearts on the turn. And should we try and pick up the spot for a bet? Let's try and do that. We rather shouldn't. We should just check fold. It seems like, and we get raised, so we fold easily. Pocket nines on a 5-7 tray with 2 clubs. We're gonna overbet it for a change. I mean, not overbetting, bet 2/3. The solver actually prefers checking or betting a third of the pot. Ace jack off on a 10-4-3. We're gonna bet 2.5. Checking is better. We get raised, so we're gonna fold. Yep. King, queen off on a 4, jack 6. We're gonna bet a third of the pot. It's a spot where solver likes betting 2/3 of the pot. There's a 6 of clubs on the turn. We're gonna continue betting with our hand. Solver likes over betting the pot here, 52% of the time. We got called. There's an 8 of spades on the river. And do we continue our line here? Do we just check? Let me think. I think we're gonna try and bet 2/3 of the pot. Actually, the solver prefers shoving 84% of the time with our hand here. It bets 2/3 just 0.5% of the time. So I think the remainder 15% it's donk betting. So this is a spot where we either overbet all in or donk bet a quarter of the pot. Good to remember. King jack off on a 7 straight 9. We're checking. Betting 2.5 is fine as well. 6 of diamonds on the turn. We're gonna check again. Solver checks here 70% of the time. I think we're gonna call this one bet. Should rather be folding, which is surprising, I would say. But yeah, maybe it makes sense actually. We lose to a pair of 5s. Queen jack off on a 9-6-5 is a check or bet 2.5. Do we call it here? I think I'm gonna call. It's 22% call. And maybe we're gonna take the initiative now and bet 2/3 of the pot on the king. And as we can see, the solver thinks this line is quite good. Does it 32% of the time. 63% of the time it prefers checking. But as we can see, the EV loss is pretty much the same. Now we have 9-10 suited on a 7-8-9. I think we're gonna check. Yeah. And the villain checks behind. Now there's a 7 of diamonds on the turn. And we're gonna try and bet a third of the pot. Nope, actually betting 2/3 is better. And then we have an ace on the river. So we're going to check. Okay, this looks like an ideal donk betting spot because the solver donk bets here 99.8% of the time almost. So good to know. Now we have king jack off on an ace queen 7 board, so we're gonna bet 2.5 and the villain folds. Queen 9 on a jack queen 10, and maybe this is a check. No, it should rather be bet 2.5. Now we hit our second pair, but it also brings a 4-card flush straight. Should we bet now or check? I think it's a check. Just 54% of the time, so we should really be betting here. But we're gonna call the 2.5 bet. And on the 5 of hearts, we're gonna check and call the bet. I think we have to call with queen 9. We should only call 4.6% of the time here. With queen 9 of spades, the solver folds it 95% of the time. Which is interesting, but yeah, good to know. 6-5 of hearts on a jack jack queen. I think this is a bet 2.5 or a check. We get called. We hit our 6, which is nice. We're gonna try and bet at this. Shouldn't be a bet, should rather be a check. 94% of the time. And now we're gonna give up on the hand because, yeah. Ace king off on an 8 queen 4 is a bet 2.5. It's the ideal action, but as we can see, not a very frequent one. Deuce of hearts on the turn. We're gonna check. The solver likes this. And the villain checks behind. There's another queen on the river, and we're gonna try and donk bet it. Should rather be a check, which is interesting. We're folding to the shove. Sometimes I really do get those donk betting spots, but sometimes I'm so far off that it seems impossible. Pocket sixes on tray ace 7 with 2 hearts. We're gonna bet 2.5. And we're gonna fold to the raise. Yep. Pocket sixes on 10 jack 4. Oh, we have pocket sixes again. I'm gonna bet 2.5. Check would be fine. Yeah, we need to check more. I keep forgetting that. I'm gonna check now. And are we calling this with pocket sixes? I don't think so. We're not calling this with pocket sixes. Pocket queens on 4 tray ace should be a bet 2.5. Again, check would be better. 5 of diamonds on the turn. We're checking. And we're calling 1 bet. Should be folding 82% of the time. And now there's a straight on the board. Villain likes shoving here the most. And we're calling the shove. And we're splitting the straight. Ace queen off on a 10-9-5. It's gonna be a check this time. Yes. Villain checks behind. We pick up some equity on the jack on the turn. We're gonna do a delayed continuation bet. The villain, the solver would prefer doing 2/3 of the pot bet instead of a third. But it's pretty much similar. 7 of clubs on the river means we didn't hit our hand. So we need to bet at this. But bet how much? I think we need to overbet the pot. Solver thinks it's better to give up on this hand, which is very, very surprising for me. Maybe it thinks ace high is good here. I don't know. But let's go to the... Sorry about that. Let's go to the next one. Now we have pocket jacks on a king 6-8. We're gonna bet 1/3 of the pot. It's the ideal action. We get called. 10 of diamonds on the turn. And we are going to continue betting. Bet 8. Solver would prefer checking here 97% of the time, which is fine, but there's a 9 of clubs on the river. We're gonna check now. And yeah, we lose to 3 of a kind 9s. King queen suited on an 8 king 5. We're gonna bet 2.5. Betting 5.5 is better. I mean, more frequent, not particularly better. 3 of spades on the turn. We're continuing betting. Solver likes to overbet the pot here on this 3 of spades, which is interesting. We get raised. We're gonna call. And actually, solver would prefer re-raising all in, which is a pity because we didn't do that. Now we're gonna check. And yeah, I think we lose a bit of value here on not reshoving, but oh well. Pocket tens on Jack 8 ace. We're gonna bet 2.5 or check. We get called. 8 on the turn. We're checking now. And we're folding. Should be actually calling. Very strange. Very strange some of these spots are. But hopefully we are learning something. I really do hope so. 5-6 of diamonds on a 7-5 queen is a bet 2.5 or a check. We get called. There's a 7 of hearts on the turn. We're gonna check and fold. Yep. 7-6 of clubs on a 10-jack deuce with 2 clubs. We're gonna check this time. Villain checks as well. 4 of diamonds on the turn. We're gonna try and bet a third of the pot. It's the ideal action, so that's excellent. We get called. And we do hit our flush. So we're gonna try and don't bet it here. The election will be checking, so I can see my camera died. So this is actually great because this is the last hand. So let's exit the session. Yeah, as we can see, unfortunately, this session was not the best one, not the worst one either, but minus 33 BBs of EV loss is more than we'd like. We're still waiting for a session that would be close to 0 or just, I don't know, under 10. That would be perfect, but we're gonna have to wait some more. We had this ace-king hand, which was over 1 BB of EV loss. And yeah, that was the worst, but we had many that were like minus 0.83, minus 0.87, 84, this type of stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you stayed this long, please leave a comment, just write GTO. And yeah, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Leave a thumbs up. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. You want to learn how to play poker? Great. You have little or no experience playing poker? No problem. Do you want to learn the fundamentals, the most basic principles that allow you to easily win money when playing with casual players? That's perfect, because this course was created specifically for people like you. My name is Mateusz. I've played over 3 million hands of No Limit Texas Hold'em, and I'd like to teach you how to play poker like a pro. What you will learn in this course are the fundamentals, the ABC of poker condensed into 21 short and easily digestible lectures. In each lecture, you will learn a different concept which you can test out and practice immediately after watching. Well, do you want to become a good poker player? Do you want to be able to beat recreational players easily? Do you want to have a great time winning at your local home games? Great! Get this course now and start winning at poker.